The following was Richard's response to what I had posted, saying, "Thanks, Gilgal. This will prove to be a very interesting topic. I'm going to make a new subsection called the Wheel of History and move this thread there since it deserves its own forum. And as well, it should, since Stuart is derived directly from Stuart, and he later added more to his post. Hi Gilgal, thanks for pointing this out. I find the fact that the name James was introduced very near the beginning of the 15th century and then continued to break through the entire century quite intriguing. It makes me wonder if there are other similar links with other kings. In general, the whole rise and fall of the kingdoms in Europe follows the pattern of the Hebrew alphabet and is symmetric with the rise and fall of Israel when the time line is reflected about the first century when Christ the Alpha and Omega Aleph Tav entered world history as seen in the image below, which is from my article The Key to the Kingdoms. And to that I had added the Priory of Zion, where in 1444 a non-church library at San Marco, where Plato, Pythagorean works and books of Hermetic magic were translated. Up until this time, the Catholic Church had control of all the libraries. It was from Cosimo de' Medici's library that the spark of Greek and Egyptian teachings set off what developed into the Renaissance. So 1444 was established a non-church library, the first secular library, or more like occultic. And speaking of Sofer, meaning book, and the 15th century, you'll notice that. This was taken, I believe, from Prince Springmeyer's book, from the Freeman's Bloodline. The link is thewatcherfiles.com/bloodlines/Freeman FREEMAN.htm. And I also added, Richard has mentioned that the printing press movable type was invented in this period, and the first book printed was the Gutenberg Bible. The Gutenberg Bible, also known as the 42-line Bible or the Mazarin Bible, is a printed version of the Latin Vulgate translation of the Bible that was printed by Johannes Gutenberg in Mainz, Germany in the 15th century. Although it is not as often thought the first book to be printed by Gutenberg's new movable type system, it is his major work and has iconic status as the start of the Gutenberg Revolution and the age of the printed book. The detailed format of printed Bible is a possible imitation of a Mainz illuminated manuscript, the so-called Giant Bible of Mainz, Biblia Latina, whose 1,300 pages were written between 1452 and 1453. I also added concerning the Stuart bloodline. As far as I know, one of the descendants of the Stuarts is Bonnie Prince Charles Edward, who, as I read, had an illegitimate daughter but no son. From his book, Bloodlines of the Illuminati, Fritz Springmeier mentioned the prince was offered to rule America, but he declined for two reasons. One, that he didn't have an offspring to succeed him. Two, that democracy was more favorable at the time. You can read about him in en.wiki.org.wiki/Charles_Edward_Stewart. He's also called a Jacobite because he belonged to the order of Jacobins. I think the name is dedicated to Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templars. Once again, the name James, Jacob, Jacques appears with the word steward, a strong spoke 15 theme, even though it goes beyond the 15th century. So it's related to the book of James, which is on the 15th spoke of the third cycle, and also in the 15th verse of Genesis 3. God said that the serpent is going to bite the Messiah on his heel, and it's from that word heel came the name Jacob in Genesis 25, where Jacob was grabbed Esau's heel as Esau was born. And another meaning for the name Jacob is scoundrel, or an underminer, and I believe that's what the Jacobins were